Good afternoon, my brothers and sisters. We come to you with midweek Bible lesson. Just thanking God for all that He has done and all that He is doing in our life. We come just to give His name glory, give His name praise for all the many blessings that He has bestowed upon us. He is so awesome. He's so amazing. And we just come to glorify His name on this day. Our lesson for today will come from Exodus, the first chapter, and we'll be looking at the 13th through the 17th verse. Exodus, the first chapter, verses 13 through 17. We would like you in your spare time to read the first chapter of the book of Exodus, also with the second chapter of the book of Exodus to get a better understanding of our lesson on this day. The Bible records in Exodus, the first chapter, verse 13. It reads as follows. It says, "So the Egyptians worked the people of Israel without mercy. They made their life bitter, forcing them to mix mortar and to make bricks and do all the work in the fields. They were ruthless in all of their demands. Then Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, gave this order to the Hebrew midwives, Shaphat and Puah. When you help the Hebrew women as they give birth, watch as they deliver. If the baby is a boy, kill him. If it is a girl, let her live." But because the midwives feared God, they refused to obey the king's order. They allowed the boys to live too. I just want to talk to you just for a few minutes, my brothers and sisters. What a message just to encourage your heart on this day. Through all that we're going through in life, just to let you know that God is still in control. Because sometimes, my brothers and sisters, it seems like life can find ourselves, seem like we on a roller coaster ride, and seem like it's some days we up and some days we down. And sometimes in this life in which we live, we have to be reminded that God is still in control. And I want to let you know that no matter what you're going through right now, God is still in control. It doesn't matter what's happening in our lives. Doesn't matter what's happening within our economy. Doesn't matter what's happening on the political level or even who's in the White House. God is still in control of everything that's going on. It doesn't matter how or what they say about Social Security. It doesn't matter what they say about the health care or anything else. God is still in control. Uh, it's not the government or the president or anybody else. As a child of God, your destiny is secure. God is your source, and heaven had never been short of anything. And that's one thing another thing you need to understand. Heaven does not need a bailout plan because God owns the earth in the fullness thereof and everyone that dwells in the land. My brothers and sisters, our Bible lesson on the day, God is in control. We look at the first chapter, 13 through the 17th verse. We look at Moses, the deliverer of God's people from Egypt. He was destined, my brothers and sisters, to bring God's people out of the Egyptian bondage. But from his birth, the enemy was set on his destruction. I want to let you know, my brothers and sisters, the enemies may have set out to destroy you from your birth. But if God got a destiny for you, and if God got a plan for you, the enemy can't do anything to destroy it. Because what God has for you, it is for you. But from Moses' birth, the enemy was set out for his destruction. We realize, my brothers and sisters, that Pharaoh told the midwives to watch these women. And if they have a boy, kill them, but let the girl live. Because at this time, my brothers and sisters, the children of Israel was multiplying. day by day. The more they worked them, the more they multiplied. And they had got a little nervous to say if they got themselves together, because they was more than what the Egyptians was. It said if they got themselves together and joined the enemy, they would be a threat to them. So they tried to work them real hard. And they did not want none of the men's to survive. They didn't want none of the babies, boys to grow up. So they said kill them all. But I want to let you know, my brothers and sisters, when God is in control of a situation, it doesn't matter what the enemy say, no matter what he tries to do to you. You just have to realize and understand that God is still in control of this situation. So the midwife said, I'm going to let them live. My brothers and sisters, we have to understand that the enemy had him marked for destruction, but God had him marked for life. Moses grew up in Pharaoh's house. He had the best of everything in that land, and the enemy paid for it. I want to let you know, my brothers and sisters, when God is in control, God allowed the enemy to pay your bills sometime, and you don't even understand why. God allowed the enemy to do things for you, and you won't understand why. But when God is in control, God will make everything work out all right. Now, the Bible declares, my brothers and sisters, in the 13th chapter of the book of Exodus, it says, and it came to pass when Pharaoh had let the people go, that God led them not through the way of the land of the Philistines, although they was near. For God said, least peradventure the people repent when they see war, and they return to Egypt. But God led the people about through the way of the wilderness of the Red Sea, and the children of Israel went up out of the land of Egypt. There are many times, my brothers and sisters, in our life that from a natural perspective, there's are easier and fastest way to do things. But God has a better viewpoint when he's wanting you to do something. Plus, God has a higher purpose than you have. Too many times our only initiative is to get through as fast as we can. But God's intentions is for us to grow through our situation of life. I want to let you know, my brothers and sisters, when you begin to trust God through your situational life, we realize that God will make everything all right. My brothers and sisters, when you read the first chapter of the book of Exodus and the second chapter of the book of Exodus, you'll realize that even though in Moses' situation, even though he was set up to not make it, but God had a master plan. God had a master plan for him to be hid. God had a master plan for him to be put on the basket and put in the in the Nile River. But God had a plan for Pharaoh's daughter to find him, and him to grow up in Pharaoh's house, and then go back to Pharaoh's house and tell Pharaoh God said, let his people go. I want to let you know, my brothers and sisters, when God is in control of your situational life, you don't have to worry about anything. All you got to do is just keep on trusting in him. Moses did what God told him to do. He grew up and he was the man that God wanted him to be. He went back to tell Pharaoh, God said, let his people go. And when God is in control, when God has everything in order the way it needs to be in order, you don't have to worry about nothing. Moses led the children of Israel out to the Red Sea, and God was still in control. When they went to the Red Sea, nothing but a Red Sea and no way out. No way to go. They couldn't go forward, couldn't go back. But God worked the situation out. I come to tell somebody on this day, God is still in control of your situational life. All you got to do is just trust, lean, and depend on him. God will make everything all right. God allowed the children of Israel to walk through the Red Sea. And when they walked through the Red Sea, they had a wall of water on both sides. They walked through a dry land. And from a wet sea to a dry land. And I want to let you know, my brothers and sisters, it don't matter what's going on in your life. If you got God in your life and God is first and foremost in your life, God will make everything all right. When I look at the children of Israel at the Red Sea, it lets me know God is in control, was in control then, and I want to let you know God is in control now. When I looked at the 3 Hebrew boys when they went in the fiery furnace, God was in control then, and God is in control now. Looked at Paul and Silas when they were locked up in prison, God was in control then, and God is in control now. So I said this to say this, my brothers and sisters, it doesn't matter what's going on in your life. It doesn't matter what the enemy may say that may happen to you. Don't matter what you're facing today. I come to tell you today that God is still in control. And if you just quit worrying and stop complaining, stop fretting over what you're going through, and just start to give God some praise in your situation, God can and God will turn your situation around. I'm reminding my brothers and sisters what Moses told the children of Israel. Those Israelites that you see today, those Egyptians that you see them today, you ain't got to worry about them. You won't see them no more. In other words, God is about to wipe them out. So I start coming to tell you, my brothers and sisters, whatever you're facing in your life today, God is about to bring you out of your situation. You just had to know that when He's in control, everything ain't going to work out. No weapon formed against you shall be able to prosper. The Bible says all things work together for the good of them who love the Lord, who are called according to His purpose. Moses is a perfect example to let us know that when the enemy sets out to do us harm and to not even let us live, and when God is in control of the situation, God just seemed to work things out. So I said that to say this. I don't know what your situation is on this day, but God is going to work your situation out because God is still in control. God bless your heart on this day. I hope this word find you in a place where to be able to help you in your life, to let you know no matter what you're facing in life, that everything shall and will be all right. God bless your heart.